Audience feedback played an invaluable role in aiding our creation of all of our media text. Through audience feedback, we were able to interact with our target audience, allowing them to play an active role in how we created our products and how much we were able to make it to relate to them. We chose a young urban audience as our target audience as we thought this was a popular target for the genre of R&B music. If we had instead, for example, chosen a more indie song, we would have chosen an audience more appropriate to this genre. We carried out audience feedback throughout the process of creating our music videos and ancillary tasks. I feel like this is an important element in the production stage of our media text as it allowed us to tailor our products to our audience and we were able to make relevant changes in relation to what worked well and wasn't appealing to our specific target audience. Furthermore, I feel like it is important to get an outside perspective when creating anything as it gives an opportunity for someone else to flag up mistakes that you may have overlooked. The first set of feedback we got was at the end of our planning process. We pitched the idea of our music video to our class. This includes plans for narrative, location, and key mise-en-scène elements. At this stage, we got very positive feedback, praising our research and careful thought put into the construction of our brand identity. Our peers praised our narrative, suggesting that our storyline would be intriguing and that it all had been very well thought out, from the use of props such as the roses to editing techniques we had planned. Although there was not much negative feedback, it was still very helpful for us to know that we were on the right track with making a music video that would engage and appeal to our target audience. Even on minor details such as costumes, it proved corroborative that our audience approved of our decisions. Taking in this feedback, we were very confident when it came around to filming, and we had planned what would be happening in the video based on the feedback we got on peers. After filming our first rough cut, we were given feedback from peers in our class. The feedback pretty much reflected the stage we were at with our filming and editing, focusing on filling the gaps and adding more variety to the shots. A clear area for improvement, as indicated by our feedback at this point, however, was that we needed to create a more even balance between the performance and narrative aspect of our video. One participant in our feedback even went as far to comment that she felt that in this early stage of our video, she related to Elijah more as an actor than an artist. By pointing this out, we were able to take the feedback on board and constructively work to amend the problem. Other participants also commented that with so many narrative films, the video felt slightly more dragged out, longer, and not as engaging after a while. Taking this all into account, we worked to film more performance scenes in order to allow our audience to see Elijah as not only an artist but a brand, and get a feel for him in a sense to his music as well as the story of the video. Furthermore, we also used performance scenes in order to break up the repetitive romantic narrative scenes. Moreover, we also completely changed the idea for our tour poster based on feedback we got on the first rough draft. Initially, we had wanted to use double exposure of the red roses in the outline of Elijah. We paired this with a sunset in order to keep that chilled out aura we had based our music video on. However, the harshness of the red roses did not betray this, and it made the poster more dramatic, interrupting and contrasting the calm vibes we had tried to create with the sunset in the background. Based on this, we initially planned to simply change the colour of the roses to pink roses so that they didn't contrast as much. However, when creating another poster with a different picture, we chose to put the roses as an overlay on top of the background so that we could keep Elijah as the main focus and create synergy between our products. Furthermore, it also flagged up a need for change of location. Although the street we had previously taken photos for our ancillary products allowed us to portray the urban side of Elijah that we had wanted our audience to be able to relate to, it simply did not fit with other elements of the poster and of our brand identity. In correcting this, we decided to take pictures in the same place we had filmed in order to add an element of synergy throughout our products. Furthermore, we decided to take the focus away from the sunset and the horizon over the street back to Elijah in the tour poster, by using a clear sky in the background, overlaid with our now less harsh roses, rather than overlaying Elijah with the roses. I felt like this was possibly one of the most important changes we made with regards to our ancillary work, as it allowed us to keep the brand focused on Elijah while still allowing us to incorporate other important themes such as romance and grievance in the tour poster. After our second rough draft of the poster, with the relevant changes made, we got feedback from our teacher and it was much more positive. She liked how the colours blended well together, and having the roses as a layer over the sky with the low saturation made a better effect than having the roses as the background in a solid colour. After our second draft, another piece of feedback we had was that the romantic scenes were too repetitive and not cut to the beat. Taking this advice on board, we filmed more scenes of the couple in different locations and outfits in order to break down the repetitive nature of the video, for example, in a car. More so, we were also able to rectify the problem of not being cut to the beat in the editing stage of our music video by looking at the highs and lows of the beat on the timeline and using this as a base of knowing when to cut to another clip. We found this useful as being cut to the beat was an essential convention we needed for music videos. Furthermore, the beat of the heartbeat in the song added to the romantic narrative we had for the song, as well as important themes we had incorporated around life and death. We also used other platforms available to us in order to gain audience feedback. For example, websites such as PollDaddy and social media sites such as YouTube and Twitter. PollDaddy was particularly useful as we used it during the process rather than after we had produced our final piece, and it allowed us to ask specific questions to our audience rather than get general feedback on how they felt. As a result of this, we were able to draw conclusions from the answers we had got. For example, one reply commented on how we should add featuring artists on our poster in order to allow it to fit in with the conventions found on other artists' tour posters. Taking this advice in, our final product, you can see we added 2 featuring artists. Social media was also helpful as it allowed us to directly interact with our target audience outside of the classroom. As our target audience was young people, we felt it was essential that we use the platform of social media in order to communicate with them, as we felt that in today's society, most young people actively engage with social media, and therefore we were able to get more feedback from a wider audience than we would have been able to had we simply carried on getting feedback from our classmates and friends. This overall made the feedback more likely to be accurate, as it would give us an overall and general feel of how our audience was engaging, interpreting, and hopefully enjoyed our media text.